everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk Dallas Cowboys here on the Let's Talk Sports Network, and for the first time ever on the Hardcore Sports Network. Yep, this is being simulcast with Hardcore Sports as well as Let's Talk Sports. Shout out to Mitch from Hardcore Sports for allowing me to simulcast this show on the network as well. For many of those of you who've never met me on the Hardcore Sports Network, my name is Alan. I'm one of the, I guess you could say, mainstays on Let's Talk Sports, although I would say, everybody there is a mainstay. So, definitely check out Let's Talk Sports. Dan has built a great program, and, Mitch has done a great job with his channel as well. So yeah, he let me, simulcast the show on his network. For those who don't know, our baseball show, Let's Talk Major League Baseball, will be simulcasting on Hardcore Sports as well. That'll be at Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Jonathan Grishman, Dan Carubia, and Scott Cope will all be a part of that show. It's going to be a really, really good time. We're all super excited to be part of a growing community, not just in Let's Talk Sports, but in Hardcore Sports as well. So today we're going to be talking about the 2023 schedule release. I am not wearing a Cowboys shirt today because I need to wash my clothes. But today we're going to be talking about the 2023 schedule for the Dallas Cowboys. As many of you know, all the NFL schedule in its entirety was released last night. So we're going to go through here this morning the 18-game schedule for said Dallas Cowboys. And I'm excited to kind of go through this and see, where our potential wins are, where our potential losses are. It's going to be an interesting show. Alex Simpson jumping in, see you week 5. Yep. Spoiler. We haven't even gotten there yet, man. Come on. Don't spoil the movie, Alec. You know the rules. But yes, that is one matchup I'm looking forward to. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit later in the season because I think the NFL would have wanted Brock Purdy to be healthy for that game. It would have been a bigger matchup that way. But you know what? That defense really is, it's about as big as anything in it itself. It's probably going to be the best defense in the NFL this year. So, I mean, why not put the two of the best defenses head to head early on in the season? It'd be something to watch. So it was a great game last year. So aside the fact that our offense didn't show up, but who's counting? Man, I'm ready to dive into this. There's some other games I want to talk about as well that were announced yesterday and throughout the week. A lot of the leaks coming in, but we'll kind of get into that maybe later on. But we'll mainly focus on the Cowboys schedule. But there are some games that kind of intrigue me. I know the one of the Germany games, Miami, Kansas City, is going to be a great game. The Eagles 49ers, Alec mentioned the 49ers earlier. Eagles 49ers is going to be a good game. Some of these under the radar matchups, week 1, Buffalo and the Jets. That's going to be interesting. And then the opening night game is kind of an interesting one as well. Detroit and Kansas City. Detroit ended the year last year on Sunday Night Football. They ended up beating Green Bay and knocked them out of the playoffs. And they're going to start seemingly on Sunday Night Football, but instead it's on kickoff night. They're going to start kicking off the night against Kansas City in Arrowhead. So big test for them right out of the gate. But let's dive into the schedule here. So let's go through the 3 preseason games first because, we'll just kind of talk about that here quickly. So there is one preseason game that we have where we will, see that team later on down the road. We do face the Seahawks in the second preseason game, and I believe week 14 as well down the line. That's going to be the Thursday night game, oddly enough, so that'll be fun to watch. We go Seahawks, Eagles, Seahawks. Night. Eesh. Do you have the Falcons on there? Do you have all the bird teams? Do you have to face all the bird teams this year? Because I don't think anybody's beaten all the bird teams in 1 year before. And there's the man himself, Mitch Akofsky. Thank you so much again for letting me stream this on your channel, man. That's very, very generous. And of course, letting us have our baseball show on Hardcore Sports as well. Shout out to Mitch. Fly Eagles, fly! Yeah, I get it. Just so you know, the running joke here is that apparently I'm a closet Eagles fan because I picked them to win the division last year. So Dan doesn't let me live that down anymore. So, and then everybody else will jump in on it as well. So you have a closet Eagles fan here now. So you're welcome. But I don't think our first matchup is till, I believe, week 9. And it's in Philadelphia, so that'll be a long wait. I don't like waiting that long to play a top tier team like Philadelphia, but we'll just have to wait and see. As far as the rest of our preseason games, we start off with Jacksonville, week 1. Then, as I mentioned before, we play Seattle and then Jacksonville. That'll be our 3 preseason games. We kick off Sunday Night Football against the Giants. Fitting, because that usually is what happens. It's usually Cowboys, Giants to start off the season. So it's been like that. I think this is the 5th or 6th time that we've started the season against the Giants, here in the last, I want to say, decade or so. My cat's trying to get in my room. He's mad at me because I stole his chair. So he's trying to get back in here. Steal his chair back from me. But yeah, Giants first. Kind of expected it. I knew it was going to be the Sunday night game. I was thinking maybe, Chargers or Rams, the LA market, or, some other team like that. But, Giants were a playoff team last year. They've gotten better on paper. Cowboys have gotten better on paper. It should be a good, first test. And then week 2, we host the other New York team, the Jets. So this is another shock to me because I didn't think we were going to play the Jets this early. So we go to MetLife to play the Giants, and then we go back home to play the other New York team in the Jets. So, and yet somehow Aaron Rodgers couldn't find a way to win this game because, of course, he does. He always does against Dallas for some reason. Thought I was going to avoid him. Lo and behold, he had to go to the Jets. So, shout out to Dan, by the way. You got your Hall of Fame quarterback. Now, let's see if they can go win a Super Bowl. But yeah, we got the Giants first. We got the Jets week 2. Week 3 gets a little bit easier. They go to Arizona. Obviously, Arizona is going to be the bottom feeder of the NFL this year. I think they're going to be the one that ends up getting the number 1 overall pick. The thing is I don't really think that they're going to go quarterback. Do they go quarterback? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think they go Do you think they would take Caleb Williams over Kyler Murray? Is that the better choice? Or do they go get the receiver and Marvin Harrison if they go number 1? I feel like that's who they go get. Because Marvin Harrison's going to be the generational wide receiver that's coming out next year. So I would not be surprised if they took Marvin Harrison number 1. So yeah, Cardinals are going to be a bottom feeder. Though Colt McCoy has had success against Dallas in the past, so it would not surprise me if that was a more competitive game. But I think the Cardinals are going to be really, really terrible. So that should be a win in that case. Afterwards, they go back home and play the Patriots. Shout out to Scott Cobe, uh, who unfortunately will be opening the season against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm like, oh, poor Scott. So, oddly enough, the Patriots and Cowboys are tied for the third toughest schedule in the league coming into this season. So, very, very. The only difference is one team is good and the other is kind of meh. So, it's to do with that what you will. But yeah, we got New England at home week 4, week 5, as Alec mentioned. Will be the Cowboys going to the 49ers in a rematch of the divisional round playoff game. Should be a great defensive battle, as Alec chimes in here about the Cardinals. Yeah, I feel the same way. That's why I feel that they're going to go Marvin Harrison at number 1, because I think they're too enthralled with Kyler Murray at this point, and they're basically stuck with him. So I would say, yeah, they're probably going to stay with Kyler Murray. I don't know who would be the number 2 pick. I would say, I don't know. It could be the Patriots, if I'm being honest. That could be, man, if they get Caleb Williams, oh, I will not like New England anymore. They don't need another good quarterback. Yeah, we gotta watch. We got an Eagles fan. We got Washington. Where's the Giants fan? Where's the Giants fan? We got every team that we got every team that hates the Cowboys except for the Giants fan. This is my hell now. This is my hell now. But hey, I'm cool with it. I'm ready for the season to get started. We're about a little over 100 days away. I think it's like 119, 120 days away from opening night, which is, as I mentioned before, oddly enough, Detroit to Kansas City, which is kind of an oddball matchup. But, last time Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes were in prime time, they put up a combined 103 points in that Monday night, slugfest. So that's probably what the NFL's thinking is going to happen. I don't think so, but this should be a good game regardless. So after week 5, we go to San Francisco. That's the first, not the first Sunday night game. The Giants is the first Sunday night game, week 1. 49ers will be a Sunday night game as well. And then we go to LA to play the Chargers week 6, and that'll be on ESPN on Monday night. And then a bye week 7. I got the bye week right. I did a little prediction on Twitter of what the schedule was going to be like. I said week 7 was going to be our bye, and sure enough, week 7 is our bye. But in between the bye, we got the LA Chargers on week 6, and got the LA Rams week 8. Call me delusional, but I got Washington. It could happen. It could happen because the problem is you got to go through Buffalo, you got to go through New York, you got to go through Miami, the 3 teams in your division. There's a guy you should meet. His name is Keith Angle. he likes picking Washington for some reason. He doesn't like anybody else in that division. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the Giants beat him twice in the Super Bowl and the Eagles beat him in the Super Bowl, and the Cowboys are the Cowboys. I really do think that 10 wins is going to win this division, if I'm being honest. I think 10-7 is going to win this division because there's going to be a lot tougher schedule. You got to go through Buffalo. You got to go through Miami. And, Aaron Rodgers with the Jets is going to be tough. The NFC West might be a little half and half. Seattle will be a little bit of a tough game. 49ers will be a tough game. Rams are beatable. Cardinals are beatable. Nice to have a bye, yeah. Especially when you're in the middle of LA too. So It's crazy. Yeah. So and you know as well as I do that this division is always very, very competitive, no matter like who's good, who's bad, or indifferent or whatnot. Because remember, it was Washington that ended Philadelphia's undefeated streak last year. So I think the one problem I have with Washington is quarterback. If they get the if once they get the quarterback situation right and they finally get rid of Dan Snyder, I think Washington's going to be a very competitive team because they have all the tools to be a competitive team. Mitch saying what's up to Big Simple in the chat. Continuing on, we had the Rams week 8 after the bye, and then again week 9. I was right. Week 9 is at Philadelphia. That'll be the first big test in the division. Not saying that the Giants will be. That's weird. Is that right? Huh. We have the Giants week 1, and then we don't have an under division game for 8 weeks. That's crazy. I just now realized that. That's insanity. All our division games are going to be crammed at the end of the year. Love seeing you guys. Love seeing you guys in the chat. Welcome. But yeah, 8 weeks between division games. That's crazy. And then it's back to we play the Giants twice before we even play Washington. That's crazy. But then again, last year we had all 4 NFC North teams in a row, and then like 3 of the 4 AFC South teams in the row. So it was a crazy schedule last year. It's saying Uncle Sam is the QB for the Commanders. Hey, you know what? I could say this: if they actually do have a losing year, you could get Caleb Williams. I think that's a quarterback that you would really, really love. I would say try to trade up to go get Caleb Williams because that could be a kid that could make a difference in that franchise. 12-5 last year if they didn't have Carson Wentz at quarterback. That's just me. There's a lot of games where they were in where they just kind of fell apart, and it's just they have the offensive tools to do it. I like their receiving core a lot. They have a great front 7. They just need consistency at quarterback. And here's the thing, I don't know if you would like this, but my big prediction is that they're going to start 1-4, and Ron Rivera is going to get shown the door, and Eric Bieniemy is going to take over that team. Because why else would they have brought him in? He's going to be Ron Rivera's successor. It seems like Dan Snyder is deliberately sabotaging this team for the new owners coming in, so they're going to have a lot to fix. But personnel-wise, I think you guys are a good team. The problem is, again, Philadelphia, Dallas, the Giants all got better. Washington, I mean, they were good. They had, again, I'll say, they have good pieces. They just need a quarterback. Commanders do have the receivers. Yes, I agree with that. I love Curtis Samuel. I love Terry McLaurin. I love, Jahan Dotson, who they drafted last year. And I love their front 7. I think they can compete. The problem is, will Sam Howell be enough to get them over the edge? The sample size we saw of him last year, it was pretty good, pretty decent. How is he going to fare in a full season? Is he going to stay healthy? Their backup option is Jacoby Brissett. What's going to happen there? Are they going to tank for a quarterback? That could be something that could happen. Not saying it will happen, but don't be surprised if it does happen. And I mean, Caleb Williams, again, a good quarterback. Drake May is another good quarterback that I think could be really, really good. Next year's quarterback class is going to be so much better than this one that teams are probably bottom feeder teams are probably going to tank. I could see Tampa doing it. I could see, maybe the Rams doing it, but who knows about that? Um, maybe the Commanders do it. Who knows? But this is going to be a really, really solid quarterback class this year. So again, and I think that's why Dak Prescott's going to be on a hot seat this season, because if he doesn't play well, again, really good quarterback class coming out this year. They might they might put him on a trade block or something. So he's going to be on a lot of pressure to do well this year. I will withhold judgment until the playoffs, if we even make it there. I don't even think your owner knows what he's doing. Which that could be a dangerous team. Again, we've seen teams do that, the last couple of years. The Lions were a complete unknown, and they won 9 games last year. And now they're expected to win the NFC North. So it's funny how a year can change things. I think the Texans are also in that kind of that same boat. So, to kind of answer your question, Mitch, I actually do like Philadelphia a little bit more than Dallas. The problem I have with Philadelphia is their safeties. I think losing CJ was a big, big blow to that team. Had you brought CJ Gardner-Johnson back, I would have been a lot more scared of that team. Because you remember, I don't know if you watched the game in Dallas last year. He tore us apart the first couple series. Dak had the pick 6 at the beginning. CJ was all over the field. The moment he got hurt was when Dak started getting more and more comfortable, started letting the ball loose a little bit more. And then, of course, the big play, the 50-yard bomb to T.Y. Hilton. I'm sure you don't like talking about that. But that is what concerns me a little bit about Philadelphia is their safeties. Other than that, I think they're a solid team top to bottom. They're probably the best team in the NFC right now. So I would say I'll withhold judgment. I think there's a chance that the streak of different teams winning the division each year is going to end finally. It's taken a while for it to happen, but if it doesn't happen, it'll probably be Dallas. But I still think Philadelphia is going to win the division. So after the Philadelphia game in Week 9, it's at Philadelphia. Then the Cowboys go back home to play the Giants for a second time, as I mentioned before. And then they go to Carolina the following week. And then the next week after that, Thanksgiving, they will host Washington, which is the first meeting with Washington will be on Thanksgiving. So, classic. And we had the Giants last year. Now we'll have the Commanders. It's always one of those two teams on Thanksgiving. It's never Philadelphia for some reason. I don't know why it's never Philadelphia on Thanksgiving. It just never happens that way. Great. Now I got Mitch and Dan calling me an Eagles fan. It'll never end. It'll never end. No. Oh my goodness. So after Thanksgiving, let's see, is that on the? No, it's at home. After Thanksgiving, the Cowboys play Seattle. Shout out to Football Talk with Bo. Cowboys play Seattle on Thursday night. I believe that's week 13. right the week after Thanksgiving, and then afterwards, uh, they get 11 days. Yeah, thanks, Mitch. Shout out to Mitch. Love you too, man. Thank you for allowing me to be part of the family. And just so you know, after that Thursday night game against Seattle, we're going to have a 11-day rest before we host Philadelphia on a Sunday night game. So we're going to be well prepared for the second game at least. And then afterwards, we'll go to Buffalo in December, which means it's probably going to snow. And then we go from snowy Buffalo to hot and humid Miami. And then Detroit on a Monday night, which is which is the 30th. We play the Eagles on, or actually, hang on. So we play the Dolphins Christmas Eve. And then the day before New Year's Eve, we play Detroit on It's on a Monday. And then finish off the season at home at Washington, which will be January 7th. So we've got Washington at the end of the year and then Thanksgiving. Thank you. I would say if you could find a Giants fan, Mitch, we can do like an NFC East roundtable for the season and just do that. Have the four of us, talk NFC East football for, the entirety of the season. I'd be down for that too. Shoot. So, in recap, we got the Giants opening night. The Jets back to back at the Giants, at home against the Jets, at Arizona, at home against the Patriots, at San Francisco, at LA Chargers, I should say. By week 7, at home against the Rams, at Philadelphia, at home against the Giants, at Carolina, Washington on Thanksgiving, Seattle on Thursday Night Football, Philadelphia on a Sunday night afterwards, at Buffalo in December, at Miami on Christmas Eve, at home against Detroit, second to last week of the season on a Monday night, and at Washington at the end of the year. And it could be on Saturday as well, on January 6th. So, all in all, the Cowboys have 6 primetime games, which is yep, definitely. We need to get I would suggest we do an NFC East roundtable show during the season. I would be super down for that. So I would be super down for that. So all in all, we've got 6 primetime games, as I mentioned, which is tied for the league, the most in the league. Week 1 against the Giants on Sunday night. The 49ers at San Francisco, week 5 on Sunday night. The Chargers the week after on a Monday night. It's not really prime time, but the Thanksgiving game against Washington. Seattle on Thursday night. Philly at home on a Sunday night. Detroit on a Monday night. And then, depending on how it shapes up in the division, it could be Washington on prime time at the end of the year. So, yes, hit the like button. Thank you. On both channels, if you're on Let's Talk Sports and on Hardcore Sports as well. We got a Golden State fan in here. What's up, Alexander? How you doing? But yeah, that's the entirety of the schedule as a whole. The games I'm looking forward to the most. Week 2 is obviously going to be a tough one right out of the gate. You got the Jets and Aaron Rodgers at home. The rematch with the 49ers is going to be a good one. Thank God. Thank God there's another one. I'm not the only one. The 49ers one's an intriguing game. Obviously, both games against Philadelphia are going to be tough. All 6 division games are going to be tough. What am I saying? It's just how our division is. So all 6 division games are going to be pretty tough. And then at the end of the year, go to Buffalo and Miami at the end of the year. 100% agree. 100% agree. It's fun. I love riling people up. It's fun. But yeah, I'm excited for the season. The one oddball thing I find about the schedule is that there's 8 games in between 2 division games. The week 1 game against the Giants, and then we don't have a division game until week 9, which is kind of interesting. But I mean, hey, this is how the schedule falls sometimes. But I'm intrigued by some of these matchups. Especially late in the season when we got to go to Buffalo and to Miami, and of course the Jets week 2. Tied for the 3rd toughest schedule in the league, so we'll see how it ends up going. But I do want to announce that once the season gets started, the show is going to be broadcasting on Saturday mornings and Tuesday mornings. Saturday mornings will be the week preview show, and then Tuesdays will be the recap show, and that'll start right after the preseason, so right before the first game of the week, which will be the Sunday night game against the Giants. That'll be not just on Let's Talk Sports, but on Hardcore Sports as well. And also, before I go, I do want to plug our baseball show, which is also going to be simulcasting on Hardcore Sports as well as Let's Talk Sports on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Jonathan Grishman, Dan Carubia, and Scott Coe will be talking baseball every Tuesday afternoon, probably until the season ends. So expect a lot of shows about baseball on both networks every Tuesday. So again, shout out to Mitch for allowing us to be on his channel and be on this platform, and shout out to Dan Harris as well. Me, like most people in the Let's Talk Sports community, would not be a part of it without Dan and what he's been able to do for not just me but for everybody else. So shout out to Dan Harris for all that he does. I'm excited to see not only our baseball show grow, but this show grow, and of course a multitude of others. It's not set in stone, but later tonight we'll be doing a Let's Talk Oklahoma sports show. It's myself and my cousin Sean. We'll be talking some softball, some baseball, a little bit of soccer, considering that Oklahoma now has a soccer program, and he's a big soccer buff, so he'll probably be talking about some soccer here and there. And then, of course, we'll be talking about we'll be previewing a little bit of the Big 12 season. We'll probably just cover Oklahoma and Oklahoma State for now. And then I guess we'll talk Tulsa a little bit too. I don't know. There's nothing really to talk much about Tulsa at this point, but yeah, we'll probably go further in depth with the Big 12 once the season gets closer. But there is plans for a show tonight, so check it out on Let's Talk Sports if you guys want to check that out. That'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. I'm excited. That is one episode, game I'm very excited about. I already have enough shows as it is, bitch. Between I'm a night owl, so I actually am about to go to bed as soon as I sign off. So uh, it's hard for me to do multiple shows on a day when I'm not off during the week. So it takes a lot out of me sometimes, and I'm kind of trying to dial it back a little bit so I can get proper sleep. But Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Diggs, that's going to be fun to watch. All right. Again, I'm tired. If we have the show today, I haven't got 100% confirmation on that, but if we do have the show today, it will definitely be on there for sure. But guys, thank you so much for waking up and joining me this morning. Uh, Again, you can find me on Let's Talk Sports. You can find me now on Hardcore Sports as well. You can follow me on Twitter at April30. If we do have the Oklahoma show today, it'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. So definitely check that out. If we have the show, again, I haven't got 100% confirmation on it, but hopefully we'll be able to do it tonight. But other than that, what else I got? Oh, Dan has something in the works for me on Sunday. I'm not going to spoil it, but he has something big planned for Sunday. I'm excited about it, and I hope you guys will be too once it airs. So be on the lookout for that on Sunday. So until then, guys, thank you guys so much for joining. Alex, Alec, Mitch, Big Simple. Thank you guys so much for hopping in the comments. Appreciate y'all coming in and chatting. How about them Cowboys? Got to show that off one last time. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This will become a mainstay here on Hardcore Sports as well. Usually when there's something big in the news is probably when I'm going to put up another episode of this. Until then, it'll probably be maybe a preseason show where I kind of predict who's going to make the final 53-man roster. But don't expect another Cowboys show until maybe the start of the season, unless there's something to talk about, which, knowing Jerry, there's probably going to be something to talk about later on down the line. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to hit the outro. I'm going to head out. Love y'all. Stay safe. Take care.